When a living trust is done right, it protects the people you love. When it fails, it's a nightmare. I'm an estate planning lawyer, and over the past 14 years as a lawyer, I've seen how things go wrong. In this video, I'm going to explain the 5 most common living trust mistakes and how to avoid them. Number 1, not funding the trust. A family member of mine set up a trust, and when she passed away, nothing was in the trust. It went through probate, and my family had to spend thousands of dollars cleaning up a huge mess. What is funding a trust? Well, it's our legal term for putting everything in the trust. And the reason it's so important is in order for a trust to work, everything has to be either titled in the trust or named as a beneficiary on a trust. For example, if you have bank accounts, those bank accounts are either titled in the name of the trust or you put the trust as the beneficiary. If you own real estate, you transfer title of that real estate to your trust. Let me know in the comments if you have questions about funding your trust, and I'll make another video providing you more details. Number 2 is a poorly written trust, and I see this by attorneys who don't specialize in estate planning or when people try to create their own estate plans online and they don't understand how it all works. An example of this was a woman in Texas. She had 2 kids, and at the time she created her will online, she had a piece of real estate and a retirement account. So she designated in her online will that her retirement account would go to her daughter and her real estate would go to her son. Well, she lived a long, healthy life, and as you might expect, she used up that money in that retirement account. So when she died, her daughter received a retirement account that was worth 0, and her son received a piece of real estate that was worth a lot. Now, her daughter went to her brother and said, "I don't think this is what mom would have wanted." And the brother said, "Well, that was what was put in the will." So they went into litigation. It was very costly. The other mistake I see when things are poorly drafted is people don't think about what happens if a trustee dies. Who's next in line? You want to make sure these are carefully drafted so that someone is going to step up and it doesn't end up in probate. The third mistake I see is people not having the other estate planning documents in place. For example, when you set up a trust, you also need a pour-over will, a power of attorney, and guardianship documents. The next mistake is not setting up your kids for success. So for example, a lot of times these online wills are set up to give outright distributions at age 18. And for most of us, we don't make good financial decisions with large amounts of cash at age 18. A better way to design the trust is staggered distributions, which means your kids will receive distributions over time. Or you can incorporate additional protections like have a co-trustee help manage the money for your kids. Another option is to require a financial education class to help set up your kids for financial success. The next mistake is failing to update your trust. For example, you set up an estate plan today and you list certain people as trustees. Many years go by and you don't update it, and those people pass away or you've lost contact with them. And then when you pass away, the right people aren't in the right position to manage your affairs. Or you have new children or grandchildren and you haven't put them in your plan, so you pass away and they don't receive everything the way that you want. I recommend you update your estate plan at least every 3 years or after any major life event, like a birth, a divorce, or you move or change relationships with people you've named in your plan. After watching this video, you may be wondering the tax implications of transferring your house to a trust. That's why your next step is to watch my video on tax-free house transfers linked here.